Oh, Steve Mills here, and it's great to be back sharing some more great ideas and ways in which you can grow your business. Now, today I wanted to talk to you about angles. What am I on about? I'm certainly not into technical drawing, and I'm certainly not an architect, but I do want to talk to you about angles. But these angles are angles of marketing. In other words, this is about how to market yourself to a given market, be it through social media, LinkedIn, any form of marketing really, and to be able to do so in a consistent manner and an ongoing manner without boring people to death by saying the same thing again and again and again. So let's say you're releasing a new product. You've got a new product or a new service. Perhaps it's a training course. Perhaps you're a landscape gardener. Perhaps you're a plumber. Perhaps you're a lawyer and you're wanting to market a new service or even an ongoing service that you've had for many, many years. You want to do something. You want to send a message out to people, be it through video, through email, through advertising, through social media, whatever the medium. And let's say this is going to be a multiple touch campaign. So you're going to, connect with people in whichever format, at least, 7 or 8 or perhaps 10 times. So if you go, do you want to buy this? 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 Again and again and again, people are going to get fed up with it. And they're going to unsubscribe. They're going to stop reading your stuff. They're going to basically disconnect with you. And we don't want that. So what we've got to do is to come up with different angles, different ways in which we can position what we're offering. So let's say, for example, that I was a landscape gardener, right? That's what I do, and I want to promote my landscape gardening. Rather than going on to, let's say, LinkedIn or any other medium and just telling people about my landscape gardening service, what I might want to do is tell people that I've written a report. And in that report, which is on my website, I talk about what you should be doing in your garden in the winter. Okay? So it's a five tips to winter gardening. Let's just call it that. And at the end of that report, there's a little section that says, if you want to know more, or you'd like somebody to do your winter gardening, then simply contact me on this telephone number or at this website. So if you were delivering that via social or through email or through an advert, perhaps pay-per-click advertising, you could do that, drive traffic to this interesting article, and at the end, you try to sell them. Another example would be you then, step 2, decide to produce a video. And in that video, you're talking about, I don't really know landscape gardening, so I've probably picked a really bad one here. But let's say making sure you've got the right fertilizer to grow roses, okay? And in it, you're going to talk about the pros and cons. This is a video, by the way. You're going to stand there and you're going to talk about the pros and cons of different fertilizer. And you're going to provide people with some tips and advice. And then at the end of it, once again, you're going to say, if you want some help with growing roses and you'd like a professional landscape gardener to do this for you, then, call me or, go to this website. So again, you're linking it with a story, something interesting, something valuable. Step 3, perhaps you've written a report that people can download. Or you might even do, another video. And except this one's going to be called something else. So you're coming at it from a different angle than you were the one before. So this might be, what's the right location to grow, a particular flower in your garden. How to make sure that your plants this spring, grow twice as big as they did last spring, let's say. The right food for the right plants at the right time. There's loads of different angles that you could come up with. And, you're probably gathering from what I'm saying here, I don't really know and understand landscape gardening. I don't understand flowers, but what I do know is that by presenting my business in multiple ways, in multiple angles, I can produce multiple increased leads by coming at things from a different perspective, putting a different slant on it, and making sure that people listening to my marketing or reading my marketing are doing so, and I'm educating and helping them at the same time. So that's it, really. So think about your angles. Think about how you're going to structure them. Think about getting them in the right order. Think about prioritizing them and making sure, that the really good ones are at the front, possibly. And start your campaign. This is really useful for things like email, by the way, or social. If you're doing posting on LinkedIn, you don't want to be saying necessarily the same thing every day. You might want to be saying the same thing, but in a different way. You still want them to sign up to the new product or the new service or come on a seminar or whatever it is. The objective is the same, and you're always going to mention that objective, but the way you're going to position it is in a slightly different angle, a different way of getting the same result. So that's it. I hope that was of value. I really think it was. I think that's a great idea, and I really hope you use it. I have to tell you, most of these ideas are just ideas that, I feel I can say it's a great idea. It's an idea I picked up. I actually picked this up from a guy called Frank Kern. I was watching a video of his. Frank's one of the world's leading marketers. I learned some great stuff from Frank and others, and I pass it on to other people. So great idea, Frank, and hope you don't mind me passing it on. I'm sure you don't, especially as I've mentioned you in my podcast. So thank you ever so much for listening, and I look forward to hearing from people and what they thought. If you want help with this, please feel free to go to my website, which is stevemills.co. Thanks very much for listening.